Hey everyone. So I had people asking me about doing a tutorial on coloring grayscale. I suppose if you're new to digital painting, no. Grayscale painting with the values and tones is so much easier to do than color painting. And I can tell you that when I first started painting, I had a terrible time picking out colors. They all looked horrible. They were just absolute crap. And I would have much preferred doing everything in grayscale, but as you guys know, grayscale is really hard to color realistically. You do have to paint over it, and it can just be a mess because you want to get a lot of blending done in grayscale, because otherwise what's the point? It's easier and, less of a fuss. So I did figure out a decent method of getting semi-realistic colors and then painting over it. Now what you want to do is you want to start with grayscale painting that has not been fully rendered. You don't want to finish it off in grayscale with textures and everything, because then you're going to be painting over and blending color on top of it, so you're just going to mess up all the work you did. So what you're seeing on screen right now is a digital painting I did a while back using traditional methods of color picking. Now I picked all the colors from a photo, but I'm going to use this to demonstrate the sort of kind of similarity that we can get by using this grayscale color mode. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, is duplicate this image. I'm going to hit Ctrl+J or Command+J on a Mac, but that didn't work, so it wasn't on the window. Okay, so now I have a copy of this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Ctrl+U, which is going to desaturate this. You could also hit Ctrl+U and use the saturation slider that way, but I don't want to do that. Now, also I'm going to do, because I don't want to paint in the eye for this tutorial, I just want to show you how to do skin because it's the hardest, is I'm just going to erase the grayscale over the eye so I don't have to fuss with it. Now this eye over here, I completely screwed up when I painted this, so we're just going to ignore that. Okay, so I've got my eye painted out. Now, what most people do, well, I can't say most people because I don't know what they do. A lot of people will go into their hue saturation picker, which is Ctrl+U again, and they will hit colorize and go through the tones, and pick a closer one they like and, use that. But for some reason, I don't like doing this because I think it looks more flat than when I do it the traditional way. So I'm going to make a new window, and it probably doesn't look it probably looks the same when I do it either way, but I'm weird. So anyway, I'm going to pick like a kind of brownish tone for our skin, around somewhere like this, and I'm going to set this mode to color. I'm going to turn up my brush all the way so I can just paint it in like this. Of course, this is really overly saturated, so I will fix that. So yeah, I just want to paint everything in. Just like this. Oh, and to get it from going outside of the lines, like it won't paint on the eye, you hit Ctrl+G above to create a clipping mask. Now, I am sorry, I am not fantastic at explaining things, so you guys will probably just have to bear with me a bit, because I kind of suck at this whole teaching thing. I'm trying to get better at it, because everyone asks me to do these tutorials, so. And I also apologize if I talk too much. Okay. Anyway, okay, now we're all colored up. that does kind of look similar to when I did the colorize, so you can just do it that way if you prefer. But I'm weird and I have to do it this way. Now, you can go and use this color replacement tool, which is over here, if this will work. And what it does, it you can change the color here and you can sample and change. There's a ton of tutorials on it on YouTube that explain it way better than I could ever explain it. So I would suggest that you look those up if you want to do it this way. I found that it doesn't work quite so well as when I use it the traditional way. So I'm just going to show you what works for me. I want to flatten this layer to the grayscale. So I'm going to hit Ctrl+E, which merges it down. Now you can use all the shortcuts or the long ways of doing these. I just use the hotkeys, so I'll teach you the hotkeys. They're much easier anyway. Okay, now we go to Image, Adjustments, Replace Color. And this is what you get. What you want to do with this is you want to select areas of color, like the tonal values, where the gray was dark, where it was light, etc., to change your colors based on tone. Now I want to change all this dark down here. So I'm going to select a lot of this super dark, and I'm going to desaturate it so I get a much nicer dark look. And I'm going to turn it a little bit toward like a blue color, and then I'm going to desaturate it even more. Only that does not work very well. I'm going to turn up my fuzziness a bit so it blends. See, that's already much better. Okay, now we keep going and doing that. I want to go to Image, Adjustments, Replace Color, then select this next dark area. Now you can select more than one color at a time by either clicking this little icon here or holding Shift down. You see you'll get that little plus sign, and then you can just drag along the colors you want to change. This, and it shows up in here. Now your fuzziness adjusts how hard this spread will be. Like if you turn it all the way down, you can't see with the desaturation so much, but I'll show you. The saturation, it's much harder line. But if you turn up the fuzziness, the spread is nice and soft, but it spreads a little too far sometimes. And the lower it goes, the harder it is, which sucks. So I'm going to turn down. I'm going to turn it a little bit toward purple. And turn it down a little like that. Then click OK. We're just going to keep doing this for the rest of the image and adjusting colors till it looks like a more natural color. I'm going to click around here. I'm going to hold Shift to select some of the colors around it. And then I'm going to change it as well. I want this a little more saturated, a little more toward red. Click OK. We're going to keep doing this. Now, with the highlights, I want to do them like a bright purplish blue color. I'm going to turn up the fuzziness a bit. I'm going to go just about here. And I'm going to turn saturation about here. And that's not quite working for me. Here. And then I'll turn the fuzziness. Yeah, I'll turn it up a bit. So, just like that. Okay, and already that looks so much better than it did as a flat color. You have varying shades that you can pick and play with. What I want to do is, let me go back and change the eyebrows real quick, because that's bothering me. Alright. Of course, it changes everything else, which I don't want to do, so I'm going to forget about that right now. Okay, for little things like the mouth, I find it easier just to make a new layer, set it to color. Find some of this pinky color in here, and then brush it on the lips. Tone it down, just to take it away from that very stark darkness. Alright, now, that's the original. This is what we have, which is a little bit too saturated, so we're going to take it down a bit. Then from here, we are going to start painting over top of it, which where your silk kind of plays in. So I'm going to turn my brush down. I'm using a soft round brush, and I like to keep the flow very low. I used to keep it high, just lower my opacity, but I got much better blending when I did it this way. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to start adding a few new colors. I'm going to sample this right here, and I think this needs to be a little more saturated, because if shadows are dark and the highlights are super light, of course, the middle needs to be a little more saturated. So I'm just going to turn up the saturation a little bit, put it more toward a yellow saturation, and make a new layer for this color blending, and then I'm just going to go over that, kind of blend it out a bit. All the parts I think need to be blended. Right, and then I'm just going to start picking colors and blending things out. And this is just the part, where you kind of do what you want. You're just using what colors you put down just to get a good base. Making a little more color to the lips. Basically, this is it. This is how it goes. It's not really super complicated. And of course, I'm blending away a lot of detail. So this is why you should never use this on a finished painting. I mean, unless you're willing to, add more detail in. It's so much easier when you don't have to go through all of that again. Anyway, yeah, I'll just leave it at this for now. But this is a good start to a digital painting. This color profile, it's good. Whereas, you know, what we were doing earlier, this this is this is not good. This versus this, it's flat, it's nasty. It just doesn't look right. It's just a tint. But using the color placement tool, you can get a really nice, you can lay out really nice base colors so you can start painting on top of it. You can turn grayscale to color and not make it look flat and nasty. which is the most important thing. And this will help you learn color a bit. It's easier. What I want to say, it just gets color just gets easier as you go along. There's no really right way to teach it or wrong way to teach it. It's different for everybody. Everyone learns at a different pace. So what works for you may not work for someone else, and vice versa. A lot of digital artists, professional digital artists, learned, very nice, bold, professional ways of doing things, and I just cannot learn them. I don't know about you guys, but I cannot think of things in linear ways. It's not the way my brain works. So, I'll show you guys what works for me on certain things, and I hope I'll make more tutorials in the future. I hope I get better at teaching because right now I'm kind of crappy at it. But I'll let you guys be the judge. I hope you guys learned something from this. Um, I hope to see you guys' work. I'm excited for all the new budding digital artists out there, and I hope I at least help in some little way because that would be amazing. So, if you like what you see, hit like. It's not going to do much, but comment, please, because I really like hearing feedback. If you don't, that's okay. I won't hate you. But, yeah. Yes, thank you guys. Love you. Bye.